Well, we'll start at
That
fine.
has nothing to do with me. My
No.
graduating didn't.
Okay, first off, what's up, guys? DJ Ninja. I was thinking, I'll start over. But basically, my point of this whole recording is the fact that she's not getting the big picture and she's not seeing the big picture, but she's setting the ground so that I can basically paint the big picture for her because she's not getting it. And I made it to about, you know, about 5 minutes. Uh, After that, I don't know. But they want women and uneducated. Here's why. And again, here's why. And the answer is maybe a few steps up, but there's still quite a fucking ladder. So it's the entry level of here's why.
So the Heritage Foundation, who wrote Trump's Project 2025, and who he's basically using as a human resources agency to staff up his administration, has posted on their website that they want the Women's Educational Equity Act to be repealed.
Yes, they did. I wish I was kidding. I wish she was kidding.
First off, um, notice there's no mention about the Heritage Foundation or whatever it's called, and the fact that Trump's taking advantage of it. Um, she didn't even hear that part because she heard woman, and that's all that she cares about is the woman aspect of it. Uh, I kind of get it, I kind of see it, but she's pulling a man moment here where it's like titties, and then all we hear titties for a while. She basically is doing the same thing, and I'm having to be the woman here. Basically, according to blah blah blah, like we escaped basically one shepherd, and we're kind of moving into another one. Uh, But I'm talking about satellite vision here. Like this is beyond bald eagle. I'm talking about like I am a leader. I'm God, basically looking down and telling you what's going on. Someone was in control of your species for the most part. Like the higher up. That's where I am, basically. And I'm pointing out how you only noticed the female part, and then you left the Heritage Foundation to be completely raped by Trump without a care in the world, because that's you. And who does that? Men. And who told us that? Next up, and so forth and so on, and blah blah. So, yeah, there you go. There's
Neither
that.
of us are kidding.
But,
They 100% did post that recently.
truth.
And it's important to note that it's not a new article.
Nope.
It's over 20 years old.
It's all in that.
They've been working on taking away women's right to education, basically,
Everybody's.
for over 20 years.
Everybody's for a long time.
If that's not dedication, I don't know what is. Basically, if you read this article, what it says is that the Women's Education Equity Act is a waste of money and that that money would be better spent propping up under
And again, divided they fall. That's all I'll say. Continue.
privileged kids and their education. Though I don't know how they're going to do that if they defund the entire Department of Education in an effort to just get rid of funding for public schools.
That's a better point. Better public schools. What they're trying to do is get you, lady, to focus on the win. You said public schools. What they were hoping you'd say is public schools for women. Because what happens, this is what they're doing basically. I wish I was gonna say I wish I had a paper, but I don't. But I do. It's called Paint. Now I've hardly ever used this, so give me a moment to figure out. That sounds like a text to me. Paint. Let's do that. Okay, cool. Give me 1 second. basically, sorry, I completely lost train of thought. Oh, so basically, it's tree, it's tree, it's tree, it's tree, it's a tree, it's a tree, it's a tree, it's a tree, right, and so forth and so on. Basically, and instead of fixing the root, they're having you focus on here women's rights. You could be focused about rights, for example, which is men's rights and then women's rights. And again, this is a way to keep them divided. So it's like, oh, you're right, you're right, you're right. So then they go backtrack to here, right? And then you shut up for a while. And next thing you know, there's 10 more problems, basically, that show up on this tree. And that's what's going on. And they're like, oh, no! And okay, 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 go back up. And then they find, you know what I'm saying, and then another, and so forth and so on. Okay. So, what I'm saying is if you actually pay attention, if you actually focus, and you actually focus on the problem, right? The hell, oh, there's, for some reason I wasn't writing, but the main problem, and you'll realize that all of the problems go away. This is divided. They divide and conquer, division, and so forth and so on. That's basically as clear as an eagle-minded person can make it to someone who looks at the world like you do, basically. So don't focus on the little things. You gotta look at the whole thing, right?
But let's go back to this video real quick because I want you to hear why she thinks they are reposting this article right now in this specific time.
Because women and girls are starting to surpass boys in education. They are starting to excel at reading and writing and civics. That one makes them particularly mad. And we just can't have that because the more you educate...
No one's getting mad. Except, like, there's a few guys, don't get me wrong, there are people that are getting mad, but when you look at the big picture, no one's getting mad.
Women, the less likely they are to have children, the less children they have, depending on the level of education, and they're less likely to stay in unhappy, violent marriages. They're basically saying that because women are more likely to go to college and to finish college than boys, that we need to stop encouraging them to do so because it's bad for society.
I love when women's success is framed as the downfall of men because to me the two things aren't related.
Well, technically speaking, she's right, but she is right speaking from the status quo, basically. And to keep men the same, we gotta make sure that women stay the same. But what's going on is women are evolving. Now, once upon a time, men were evolving, but the problem was only men were evolving. And that's kind of what you're harping back to is the time when only men were evolving. The problem is no one's evolving right now. And you're complaining about the women's side instead of everybody, which is what we should be doing. The grand scheme of things, right? Well, not the grand scheme of things, but the bigger picture of that argument, basically. Is that sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm fucking my sister decided to let me know about an appointment I gotta set up right now, like in the middle of the I'm trying to fucking anyways, so you're talking about women's rights, and I understand that men are suffering too, and the problem is you're only addressing the women's suffering and not the men. And the reason why is because chances are, I don't know, but chances are you're going back to the time when only men were evolving and not women. basically. And all they are doing, basically, is remembering back that tree that I drew before. They're just changing branches over and over and over again, keeping you from going all the way up and solving everybody's problem and making the world a great place for everybody, right? And that's kind of what libertarians are all about. But the problem is, they're the kind of people um, that will reset you, basically. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if there is a side of the world that doesn't reset, then they show up with guns and take you over, much like America did to America, right? Or England did to America back in the day, basically. As they showed up into the Native American lands, where they would hunt the animals and whatnot, the bare minimum, basically. But, them over there, they had guns for whatever reason, and they took over, blah, blah, blah. Then that's history, right? But, yeah, anyways, you did, yeah. So, don't rely on the little things. Look at the big thing. Is my point. And you're looking at part of a small problem. And I'm saying, look at the whole small problem. Okay, now look at the problem above it. Now look at the problem above it, and so forth and so on. And eventually you'll get big picture. That's where I'm at. So
I guess what I have to say to the men who aren't finishing college and aren't getting those high paying jobs, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, babe.
that's their want. But I'm telling you, Miss Smart Ass Woman, who's like, oh yeah, well women win. Yeah, women, good job. Understand that men are being fucked over. Like women are being fucked over. And just because you guys are waiting now, that doesn't mean that men are not suffering. Because, like, believe it or not, the reason why men have giant dicks is 'cause they fuck a lot, basically. And the reason why guys have small dicks is 'cause they don't fuck at all, basically. Same for Asians. They don't have a lot of sex in their culture and so forth and so on. It's all public and whatever. The reason why black people have big dicks is because look at Africa. Look at that lifestyle. And you kind of understand, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Duh. Right? But I point that out because that's the same thing with the problem. And you're like, well, it's haha, sucks for you men. Well, 90% of the men are fucking suffering and losing. And just because you all dumbass bitches are being stupid and fucking 10% of the men, and the reason why he has a big dick is because he's been fucking for years, right? And the reason why the other guys don't have anything is because they haven't done anything. Like your body evolves and adapts and whatnot. So duh. But anyways, the point is you're focusing on like, well, fuck men. Well, if you're saying fuck that 10% of men, well, guess what? 90% of the men don't deserve that kind of hatred, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have, and why, like, that's why I'm single. There's been a lot of girls that wanted to be with me. The problem was, I was like, I'm not willing to be with you because you're a loose bitch. I don't want to get with you because I'm going to be average, right? Because everyone is either average, and there's guys that have a lot of sex that have big dicks, and then guys who are like repressed and depressed and like just repressed and they have smaller than, and then there's people that will have birth defects, small, large, whatever. But the point is, like, you can't go around fucking your whole life and then expect me to want you because me and you will never, like, we're not seeing sexually eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? If you only had 10 sex, or if you only had sex 10 times, it could work. But if you've had 10,000 times, then how the fuck is someone like me, who's only had sex like 10 times, gonna please you? It's not gonna happen. So our sex life is just dead. DOA, right? So that's what's going on. But again, instead of focusing on sex, focus on like jobs or success or just in general, and you're suffering, or we're suffering, men are suffering, right? And then you're like, men, what's it called? I'm gonna try to think of. Women are okay, right? You're finally doing well, and then 10% of the men are that have been leading the way are no longer winning, and now 90 or 100% of men are being fucked over, and you're like, well,
High paying jobs. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, babe.
that's your response to 90% of men who didn't ask for this to suffer. Like, don't be them. That's what they're telling you. Please, well, you shouldn't. Don't be that. Don't be that. That's you right now. You don't. No. Okay. So, 1 second. She's not gonna stop until I fucking. Okay. But yeah. So that's that. And again, like you're looking at part of a small problem. Go all the way up, all the way. This is what they don't want. Divided they fall. So, this keep like that tree that I showed you. You're 5 branches down, and just because you made it up 2 branches, that doesn't mean you're clear of all of the hurdles. That doesn't mean we're all clear of the hurdles. You're still a farm animal. God may have changed, but you still have a God. You know what I'm saying? Like you're still operating from a tree. You're still kind of listening. You're still a sheep, one or another. You're still a sheep. You have to break the cycle completely. Like I'm free, and it took being disabled. It took brain surgery, and it took a stroke for me to be free. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference. Some people made it big. Some people got whatever, but then they act like you and say, "Well, pull yourself up by the food stamps, babe." The whatever you said, babe. It's like, no, don't. This is why they say to turn the other cheek in the Bible and whatnot. Like, understand, like, you're female, I'm a male. We should fuck. Okay. The point is, we're people. We should be together. We should rise together. We will evolve. The world will be a better place together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what you tell everyone else. Women,
again, 10% of men tell everyone else. 90% of men don't. And what you're saying applies to those 90% of men that don't, as well as the 10% that do. So that should be no.
gay people, trans people, people of color, we have for years
And 90% of just everyone.
thrived despite the oppression that we face.
Yeah.
And
That's called being human, evolving and adapting. It's kind of what we do, and that's where the rich have this tree and have us living off of this tree and creating circumstance and situations for us to exist. And then they're like, we'll increase the money over here, we'll increase the money over here, I'll make this worth a little more, we'll make that worth a little more. Or this place is too wealthy, we'll take some back and make them poor again, reset their economy. There's people pulling the strings. Basically, you need to understand that.
straight white men, by and large, had it very easy. They kind of had things handed
Not straight white men. Some straight white men.
to them because there was no competition, because the rest of us were pushed down and oppressed.
Yes. Guess what? And then of those men, they competed amongst each other. That's it. That's all it was. Basically. Right? That's basically it. The main guy got the virgin. Then that virgin was handed down to the next, 100 guys. And then that girl is now kicked out of the home with, body count of plus 100 for anybody else to pick up. And again, that's why I'm single. That's why most guys are single. That's why most girls are single. It's because they don't realize it counts for something.
Weren't allowed to have bank accounts, weren't allowed to get certain jobs, you know, everything like that.
But who did that? Men. Once upon a time. Men, the 10% of men. The other fucking 90%, like, huh? You, what? You don't have a bank account. Why don't you have a bank account? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Doesn't matter if you're getting like, don't egg them on, dumb bitch.
And now that I don't even want to call it equality because it's really not. We're still not equal. We
We still not equal. No, I know. That is, it's called we have the rich and then everyone else. So
still don't have equality for any of those groups.
this is your dumbass, and you're still saying, "Oh, well, it's only men, it's only women, and it's only black men, it's only colored men, it's only no, it's everybody else." Bitch, that's not rich is basically fucked over. That's what you need to understand. And just because you might be more fucked over than other people, that doesn't mean you're like better off, so to speak. That doesn't mean they're better off, so to speak. I may be able to get a house, but this house sucks compared to what I should have gotten. But guess what? Instead of beginning to live there, I get it after someone else like had 40 parties in it, basically. And if you think about it, that's what getting with the growth of body count is. It's like moving into a home, right? The Virgin, like everything's brand new, everything seals up. It's great, it's lovely, it's wonderful, you love it. Or as getting with the hoe or someone who's been around, it's like your window leaks, your door barely closes, there's paint missing off of shit, the door hatch is broken, this door's missing, this window doesn't close anymore, right? Like, why would you ever want that? This is why men value that, basically, virginity, because of that reason. Some guys don't care, they just want another people. Some guys want a girl to be intimate with,
that I mentioned. But now that it's closer to equality.
Oh, by the way, women are brainwashed and brain controlled into thinking it's fine and it's whatever, and then no one cares. But there is a reason why a lot of you are single.
Men, straight white men, are feeling as though they're oppressed because when you're so used to privilege, equality feels like oppression. Because now they have competition. Things aren't just handed directly
Yeah, I know.
to them. Sometimes
But you're talking about like the 10% again.
other people are given a chance.
That 10% is like, hey, women as a whole is starting to go up, and I'm not getting bitches for free. And for just showing up and showing my abs, she's not putting out. And she knows better all of a sudden. And so, like you're pointing it out, they have standards. God, instead of us getting better and us raising ourselves to be better people, we're just going to make them stupid again. And that's basically what's going on. And we trick them into being okay with it. Like how you're like, we'll just put your bootstraps up, men. 100% of men. and whatever. And you're willing to fuck over all men, because 10% fucked over, every girl out there. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. You don't notice that the top is destroying it, and then the top is setting the benchmark, and then there's above the top, which is Elon Musk's and shit, who control the world, basically. And then there's the shadow community that destroyed Elon Musk, arguably. This is why the cars suck, and so forth and so on. Like, I don't know why people are blaming Elon for a car being made with like an inch of steel, right? He's not the designer. He didn't put it out there. He doesn't control the market that's in California when he's in New York. So why are we blaming him for the shit that California? Maybe it's, I told this guy to do it, and that guy told California to sell them under, cut corners and make it cheap so that I get paid a lot more money. So I'm pocketing it. All the money he's giving me to make it really good, I'm pocketing it. And then everyone else is suffering, and they all blame Elon when in reality it was the middleman, like it always is. It's always the middleman. And I think that's why America fucking sucks. It's because that middleman that no one knows who it is.
And that,
The ones
I think,
you
is incredibly
overlook.
discouraging to them on whole. If I go to college and I graduate, and Joey here goes to college and he doesn't graduate, that has nothing to do with me. My graduating didn't prevent him from graduating. Do you see what I'm getting at? And if you're having a problem with succeeding in life or like the male loneliness epidemic, those don't need to be blamed on me because I'm a woman. Sounds like a you problem.
No, it's, again, the rich are at fault, basically. It's the popular boys that, again, I show my abs, and you dumbass, you cunt, you think because he has a rich daddy that he is worth a damn, or that he went to school, or that he's valuable, and because he showed you his abs and he winked at you, you wouldn't open your legs for him, and then he throws you away. And for some reason, you're acting like, oh, because you told him no, and now he's bitching that it's everyone's problem when you only noticed the top 10% of men who were the guys that had rich dads. Like, that's who you're blaming everything on, is the best, or the top. Like, I'm the smartest man alive, right? And I could have been with plenty of girls, but I chose not to, basically. And guess what? Women held it against me. Oh, you don't have the biggest dick in the world. Oh, because you don't last for 20 years. I haven't been fucking in my whole life, you dumb bitch. Like, you have. You're a hoe. I would never want you. You know what I'm saying? The point is, don't blame me for not being part of that 10%, right? But then the second that 10% starts to lose, we got dumbasses like you that like fuck all men, even though all men had nothing to do with it. That's basically what I'm talking about. I've been fucked over, and I think I would say I speak for like 90% of men, or 80% of men, or 70, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is that I have been fucked over because you, basically. Instead of you blaming, the 10%, you blame everybody, and that's what I'm going to say. Now I'm point, and you're not looking at the big picture, but yeah.
But my favorite
And for some reason, you think you're smart for noticing this, which is like the bottom like 10% of problems, the bottom 10% of problems. But yeah, you're happy to fuck with the top 10% of men, and then after you find out, oh, he's only rich because his dad's rich, and he's only fit because he works out all day and doesn't have a job. That's why he has a six pack, and he has a big dick because he fucks a different girl every fucking day, and two different girls a day. And then you go and fuck him, and then you wonder, oh well, fuck all men. It's like, what? No, like what? No, what the hell?
side of this argument is that the more educated women become, the less they have children. And that's bad because it's bad.
It's true though, because what happens is you know more, and so you expect a man to be more, but you only look at the top 10%, and the other 90% don't exist to you in your mind, basically, until it's too late. And the man can't have it, or you can't have it, basically. You see what I'm saying? So it's not really a problem for you. It is a problem. Well, it is for you because you're not looking at everybody. There are men out there that you could give a chance and sleep with, but you don't until it's too late. Like that guy, oh, he's a dead end job. He's what's it called, janitor, right? And that's his life basically. And he's been working there for a good, like 5 years or whatever. But you don't want to give him a chance because he's a janitor. In reality, he's actually a really good dude. It sucks that he's a janitor. And so he doesn't, ride around on a motorcycle at, the top 10% with a rich dad because he's not them. Fuck him. Again, that's the 90% of the world. It's just we're doing all the basic shit. Or, the middle of basic shit or whatever. They don't exist to you until it's too late, basically. And that's what's going on. Is your standards are going up, but they're unreasonable because you don't seem to understand that men are being fucked over. And again, like you said, you go right back to it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or whatever you said. Like, come on now.
We have an unbelievable amount of children in foster care in this country right now. We
And the reason why is because bitches like you will go and fuck the top 10%, get knocked up, he doesn't call you back, and you have no choice but to get an abortion or drop her off to a fucking clinic or, abandon the kid or whatever. So your life can continue because you think that Mr. Rich dad over here is going to marry you, but he just looks at you and he's like, yeah, fuck you, but I'll leave you and that's it. And that's why I reach out to a lot of little girls. I'll reach out to them and I'll tell them to be careful and to have a mind for this kind of stuff and don't go for daddy's a rich guy with a rich dad, because there's a thing called fronting. Basically, it's where you lie. It's like your bitches and your makeup, and you want to pretend to be something you're not, and then you attract, Mr. fucking rich dad, and then he wakes up and sees you without your makeup, and you look like a fucking, worse than his butt crack, or, you look a man or whatever, and you don't look half as good as you do with your makeup on, and he doesn't want you anymore, so he leaves you, and you had a kid. That's what's going on. Whereas if you go with that janitor that you're overlooking because your standards are too fucking high, what's it called, and you go with him before you blew out and you had nothing to show for it. Basically, if you had a kid with him, he would actually sit there and raise the kid with you. Basically, because he's a good guy, but because he's a janitor, you're like, fuck him. Basically, you don't seem to understand, and that's what's going on. Girls date up, guys date across and down, basically. Guys don't get the option to date up because there is no up. It's make up. That's why they call it makeup up, because the only up that you get is the make up. It's fake. What's called fake it till you make it. That's America's problem today.
have 8 billion people on this planet. I don't think we are in danger of going extinct anytime soon. Things in this country are so bad that most people can't afford food, a roof over their head.
You know why? It's because they're all the people born don't have fathers and mothers together, or father, mother, whatever. They don't have a couple, so they live in shit and filth. And guess what? It's the rich who are deciding to divide you because you're all fucking dumbass monkey idiots, and you're all proud because you're like, yeah, I figured out the best problem in the world, and really that's only stage 2 out of stage 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a big deal.
Transportation without working at least 2 jobs. But you want me to bring at least one more life into this world when I can't feasibly provide a good quality of life for that child.
That's your fault. Go to school. Like, look at me. Like, there's mom, dad, the mom and dad, son, daughter, me, and then my sister, which is one of the son's wife, and then of course that son is the husband and she's the wife. But there's 7 people under one home, and basically it's like 2 people are paying for everything. basically. It's not that hard to live if you have a future. But if you're running around fucking a mister who has a six pack and you're going to school for a future and then you have a baby and the mister six pack disappears, you're fucked. I won't want you at that point. Even if you don't have a kid, I won't want you because you're a whore and you were fucking him for years. What do you have that's left? You know what I'm saying? I don't want a future with you because chances are we'll just be living together and I won't get to have sex with you because you'll be bored and you have had all of your sex would have been had with him. And then so why would I just for the kid? That's stupid because I could have a kid with any female. So I'm gonna wait for that dumbass, or better yet, I'm gonna go target that little girl who hasn't gone and fucking ruined her life yet. That's basically what's left. So
Why?
To his response about it being too expensive to have kids, you said that's not the way to think about this. Explain.
Well, you know, when I had my children, we were in a two-bedroom small apartment overlooking a garage. And then the next year, I have the second child, we had an apartment with a view. And then by the third child, we could get a two-bedroom house. People, you know, you don't have to go to the movies. You don't have to go out for dinner. You can just spend time with the most wonderful gifts you can ever have as a children.
First of all, Ms. Musk, you, in my opinion, birthed the spawn of Satan. Why would I listen to you about childbearing?
that's just like a woman. Why listen to you when this kid is born from you? And this kid's terrible, but he's not you. But because he's terrible, I'm not going to listen to you. Like, that's... Listen to her. Shut up. Listen to her. Like, even if she's the spawn, listen to her with, like, what's it called? Like, extra defense. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut her out. She might say something useful, but pay attention to what she's saying. Like, everyone gets one, basically, but really listen to it, so...
Second of all, who needs a good quality of life? Just pop out them babies. Don't take them to do anything. Go see a movie, you know, go out to eat. God forbid, take them to Disney World once or twice in their...
No, she didn't say anything about that. She said, you go for dinner. As in, like, I want to have elegant lifestyle. Like, no, you have kids.
life.
That's what it is. Like, either elegant, like, the problem with today is it's either you get to live an elegant life or a one with kids. And you have to make a choice. Whereas before, they were, one. And that's the disconnect that you aren't getting and that she ain't getting. Is there was that choice to have both. Even if it may have been slight, or even if she didn't have that call, or like, I don't want that elegant life. Some girls want that life, and that's completely fine. It should be completely fine. But and again, that's where it's good that you are a virgin or close to a virgin, because chances are you will look good. First off, secondly, you're a virgin, so you're highly sought after. And like me, right, I'm like the most intelligent man in the world. If you came up to me and told me you were a virgin, I'd probably be like, okay, well, let's date and see how it goes. And if we got along, I might marry you just because you're a virgin. When you have nothing else to show for it, that's fine. Because I get to spend time with you. Again, all you have is your intelligence and your education. And that's fine. I get to bounce it back. I get something out of it, basically. And you're a virgin, so not only do I get something out of you, but out of you and your body as well. Like, it matters because, like, you actually are enjoying it. There's actually that connection, that bond between us. You know what I'm saying? It actually means something, basically. to some people. Like, it doesn't have to be intense and like, oh yeah, the back seat, oh yeah, just noise and fucking shockwaves and violence. It doesn't have to be violent. You know what I'm saying? It can be passionate, slow. It's fine. Like you watch too many movies to think that it goes this way, and your mind's all fucked up to think it has to be this way, right? But the point is, like, me as a man with the future, I want a woman with the future. You know what I'm saying? Something to get out of. But again, if you work at McDonald's and you've been with 1,000 guys, like, why the fuck would I want to be with you? Whereas if you work at, like, there's no way in hell you work at McDonald's if you stayed single for years. But if you had some job and you're 35 years old, you're a virgin, and you're focused on school, which is very unlikely, chance are you'd be married and have kids already and probably have a decent life at that point. But again, like, the fact that you aren't a slut is the main thing there, I would honestly say, thinking about it now. Is because most guys, like the 10% I'm talking about, like, a lot of them will go on to fuck, and then they'll go marry a virgin, basically. And they'll barely do anything with her. It's just to keep her clean and wholesome, and then the girls fuck them. And that's what most guys do. I don't. I personally don't. I could have, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And instead of being like, oh wow, that's a really good, really good job, man, really good job. No, oh, you have an average dick, you're a tiny little man, and you bitch it all fucked up in the head. And this is like, again, you're learning off of media and shit. It's just fucking you up. But anyways, that's what's going on there. So,
can't afford to do that. Who cares? Just have the kid anyway. They don't deserve a nice life. We just want them to exist. It's twofold. You see? It controls women, and it increases the labor force. That's all they want you to have kids for. They want you to have more kids so they can have more people working in retail and food service and all the grunt.
See, like, your mind is divided. Like,
jobs that they don't want to do.
There you go. I'll try to do you a favor and find a freeze frame where you look decent. But you're talking about the kid and the workforce, and you are right to say that, and you're right that to point out that that lady's only saying it for those reasons. You're right, but again, kind of stop and look at it for your reasons instead. Like, you want a kid too, right? And you want these things and so forth, and like, it's a difference in perspective. Basically, you could look at it that way, but also look at it your way, which is what you should do, which is what I should do, which is what everybody should do. But again, because of media and social networking and people and so forth, and like, there is a greatness that can come from it, but there's also a horribleness that can come from it too. Okay.
Do while they use AI to create art and make themselves more money. You're just a cog in a wheel.
You want to have a relationship with someone?
More to do while they use AI to create art and make themselves more money. More people working in retail and food service and all the grunt jobs that they don't want to do, while they use AI to create art and make themselves more.
You realize that AI cannot create art, correct? There's a difference between intelligence and education. Humans have, like, they can't replicate intelligence. They can replicate education, but not intelligence. And what it sounds like to me is you don't understand the difference. So,
more money. You're just a cog in a wheel.
You want to have...
Could be. Or it could be your son, you know what I'm saying? Or your daughter, or whatever. So it depends on how you look at it. But that's kind of the point that I was saying before, so.
A relationship with someone? You want someone around you can trust? You want someone around you can tie your life to in
Yeah.
this way that weaves a rope? You want someone you can grow old with? You want someone to be a mother for your children, assuming you want children? And if you don't want children,
Or as you put it, another cog on the wheel. Like there's two ways to look at it.
well, you probably will. And if you don't, you're either deluded or immature. And you might say, well, no, the planet has too many people on it. It's like, yeah, whatever. Good luck with that. Every single one of your ancestors reproduced in an unending procession lasting 3.5 billion years. And they're all wrong, and you're right. I don't think so.
Sure, Jordan. Sure. Yeah.
He's right.
We've
He's
always
right.
done it this way.
He's right.
Is a really good reason to continue to do something.
Yep.
The same as if you've been doing something a certain way, but then you learn new information, you still shouldn't change the way you've been doing it.
You're hell of stupid. You are hell of stupid.
Did our ancestors have 8 billion people on the planet with finite resources? Nope.
Yeah.
Did we have so many human beings?
Also, there's not really a finite resources as much as there is finite resources in socialized society. Meaning, if we kicked out Ken and Barbie onto an island and taught them the ways of the island, they can survive. And they have plenty of resources. And they could probably have, like 500 people live there. But when it comes to like this doctor and this medication, certain crafted things, there's too many people as far as that goes. But I'm sure there are people in this world that if they could, they would rather live there. And what we could do is like, once you're there, that's it. There's no coming back over here, because you can be like, I imagine that there are guys that, oh yeah, I definitely want to go over there, and they'll go over there and they'll go and fucking exploit the shit out of the system, and then come back over here. You know what I'm saying? I imagine that's what they do already with like other nations, is they go and fuck all the bitches that expect you to love them, but then you don't, and then you leave and you fucking ruin the society and so forth and so on. Like a lot of guys should be targeting a lot of fucking whores, right? Because all you want to do is fuck, but no, you want to fucking what's called a virgin, for example, and you ruin her life, and you send her to nothingness. Basically, she might end up killing herself. Pretty much all because you wanted to ruin a virgin, and then you want to marry one, and these selfish fucking assholes are the ones that you should be looking at. But no, you're looking at men as a whole. So like,
Things that we were having a housing crisis and we couldn't house them all? Nope.
yeah, they could, yeah.
They didn't have any of those issues. And they weren't overpopulated the way that we are now.
We're not.
But thank you so much for your input. I'm glad that I
Shut the hell up, you stupid bitch.
am immature, because
You are.
I don't want to bring a child into this world knowing full well that I cannot provide it with the quality
That you suck as a person and fucked up your whole life and your future because you were brainwashed by society into thinking what you think, and you could be a lot more, but instead you are what you are, which is basically nothing. And why you think you can't have kids, basically. Like, there are families that could be great families if the kid only had bananas every day. Like, sure, he's gonna want like soda and chips and sweet products, but bananas like are great. Like, I like bananas. They're fucking wonderful. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are my jam. Literally PB&J. I eat them all the fucking time. Like, in fact, I had them earlier. Here's a napkin. Basically, it still smells like the peanut butter. Like, there's still peanut butter. There's still stains on this because it was really fucking good peanut butter and jelly. See, like, there's a jelly scene right there. Bam! Right? I literally did have it. Or you can be like, oh, I want to have that $50 meal every day. It's like understand. Like, yeah, you want to do things, but that's how life is in general. Like, I can't go on what's called Great America if I wanted to. I can't, basically. And if I have a kid, so he can't either. Like, we can't. Oh no, fuck. Like, that doesn't change. Is my point. And your argument that you can't send them and you can never send them, that doesn't change anything. All you're saying is because you were a failure, or because the system's fucked up and you had no other choice but to fail. But for some reason, again, you want to look at the bottom 20% of the problem. Also, you want to blame all men instead of just the top 10%, which is generally the problem, because you're misguided that you fuck up, you can't become more. That's your blame you're suffering on. Like, no. Anyways,
of life that I think it deserves. That makes me immature. God, you're so right, Jordan.
He is, and thank God you shut up. Now go make me a sound, you stupid bitch. Later.